We're back. Thank you to Clover and to BetterHelp. Links will be in the description. Go check them out. Come on, name and a number.
1824, Lex Friedman. Like I said, I think this was one that Joe passed him on the thing. He said, hey, do you want to do a podcast? Jokingly, and Lex said yes, and then he got stuck into it.
I thought Lex was great in this episode.
Oh, really? I hated this
Could have
episode.
done without the fucking poem at the end, but
It's always coming. It's like a
thing.
no. But now he has his own podcast.
Yeah.
He can play music. He can recite poetry. Like he
Still
used
the
to do
reach.
that on Joe's because he didn't have another outlet. Now I'm saying there's no
Joe still
reason.
gets way more listeners.
Anyway, yes.
Did
But
you-
not that many. He's super famous now, Lex.
Did you listen to his podcast with Oliver Stone?
I did, yes.
No.
I thought it was very.
I listened to a bit of Rick Rubin and a bit of Bobby Lee.
I thought it was a good alternate viewpoint.
Yes.
I don't know if I believe everything. I don't know where I stand, but it's good to get that.
But Lex in the beginning, I mean, obviously he's torn. He has family and friends in Ukraine and Russia. But he's, even after the Putin interview, hearing, say, Oliver's take on it, he's declared Putin a war criminal.
I mean, it's easy for me to
Yeah.
fence it, you know.
But have you guys seen in the news that they're talking about that,
Taiwan.
well, that's a new thing, but in regards to Russia, Ukraine, that they're just going to have to make a deal after all this. And it's just really, that's the tragedy of this whole thing, is that I was saying in the beginning, you're going to have to make a deal. And they've just been...
And
The
that's-
tragedy is that you were right all along. Was that
Always
a
a tragedy.
pleasant
But
pat on the back? Always a tragedy.
Well, it just seems like such a horrendous miscalculation.
We're so far removed, but the Ukrainian soldiers have died, the civilians have died, the Russian soldiers have died. It's
the
just-
people who have been misplaced, like it's tons of people.
And hopefully the lesson learned that we have to like work deals out.
We don't learn lessons. Get the fuck
Unfortunately.
out of here.
But it's causing a lot of stress to Lex, and I guess he wanted to come and have Daddy Joe
Listen,
calm him down.
Right now, America goes and fights all of these wars the exact same way for no fucking reason at all. And this one is different for some reason. Like, I can't.
It was weird hearing Lex say like I've just taken time off and I've disappeared. I was like, no, you haven't. You put out you're putting out podcasts all the time.
Yeah, but they may actually be in the can. I don't think he...
Well, they're not because
newspaper.
they're about like Ukraine
Current
and
events.
Russia and stuff.
Well, one of the things he said is that Ukraine was fractured before this war.
Yeah, but we knew that.
And the war has brought them together under Zelensky. Zelensky was holding like the thing together, and it wasn't going very
Whatever
well.
that Nazi party wasn't great friends with Zelensky, but in a time of war, it unites them to be able to fight a common foe. And then when the war is done, they fight amongst themselves.
So it may actually be a perfect calculation
On whose part?
on
Putin's
Ukraine to draw Putin in to solidify the resolve of Ukraine.
Interesting. I mean, listen, I'm so dumb. Like,
How dumb are you, Simon?
well, no, I'm just, that's not what I was looking for.
Well, they're just saying miscalculation seems crazy with lives lost. Maybe this is actually, they want to goad him into war. They get the money from the support. They get in NATO. Too many shows. And so they did it to themselves.
I mean, the Americans donated how much money? It's
40 billion.
40 billion. Where the fuck did that money come from, first of all?
from the reserve.
And where
That was
did it? And where
beat me to
exactly? So they made up money, and now they're giving it to who?
And what's the oversight? Yeah, exactly.
And to where? Like, that is just like, if you just want to fucking, you know how we're always saying, or I'm always saying, like, they need to get everybody in on the aliens so now they can start spending money on the aliens, you know? You need to have the support of the people, or else they're going to fucking vote you out of office for spending too much money on shit they don't believe in.
well,
This way, they don't even have to do that. They're just fucking
it
making
seems
up
like
money
it's-
and making, like,
it's laundering money.
it's
It's
laundering
getting money in the system.
Anyways.
We'll get back to the 40 billion in the Sadiq. They talked about the recent school shooting, which Matt alluded before we started. It's just a tragedy. And this one is a tough one.
How do the fucking police not go in?
Well,
Think about defund the police as a movement for a minute. I said it all along. It was terrible marketing. But this is what they were talking about. Is like, I don't know if you know this, but I think it was 40% of that city's budget goes to their SWAT division.
But it's only like 15,000 people. Like it's a
So
small.
why is 40% of their budget going to a group of people that won't enter a place with an active shooter? Why do you wait for Border Patrol?
I think they were all panicked, like Keystone Cops. Like, I don't know what to do.
Dude, you have body armor and you're fully loaded. It's one shooter. Unfortunately, your job is to go in. I don't know how else to say it.
It's a sad tragedy, and I saw a video of the police actually tasing parents who are freaking out outside,
Which is ludicrous.
which is just like. But you understand that I don't know, Sarge. I don't want to go there.
No, I don't. That's like
It's unfortunate.
That's like somebody in the military saying, "No, I'm not gonna go into that fucking."
You get court-martialed,
dugout."
and yeah,
You do it because that's your job.
So this has made it even worse. And I wonder. Someone posted that in 1983, one lawn dart killed a kid, and they were banned.
dude, we did it with Tylenol. We did it with Tylenol bottles. We have driver's licenses. Listen,
Hold on, lawn darts would have killed thousands of more children.
Yeah,
thank God they got banned.
that's his point.
Oh,
Is they
that's your-
banned
okay.
lawn darts because one kid died. 1.5 million people died of guns, and they won't even discuss potentially.
Well, lawn darts weren't written into the Constitution.
But all that being said,
We know what's to blame
there's just
here.
too many guns out there now.
It's doors.
They would have.
Doors, yes, Matt, it's doors.
They would have to like get all the guns back from people. Never going to happen.
It's too late now, so now they got to figure out a way to fucking work.
It'd be weird if there was precedent for this, right?
But to
like if
just
it had
write-
happened somewhere and worked where they did give the guns back. I mean,
Well, Australia.
Well, no.
oh, it's happened?
Yeah, they had a massive.
Get out of here.
No,
it was a much smaller scale.
But all that being
man.
said, we have
Like,
strict gun laws here, and a guy still killed 20 people just as a fake RCMP here. With our strict gun laws.
well, we just
Listen,
have
hold on.
I don't know how
There's just too many
We
guns
just
out
have
Just
less
hear me
guns.
out. If you have a neighborhood that has 1,000 homes, okay, you have two neighborhoods. They're side by side. They each have 1,000 homes. What are the odds? One neighborhood has 0 pools, not a single backyard pool. The other neighborhood has 300. Out of the 30% of the homes have a backyard pool. Which neighborhood do you think is going to have the most drownings?
The one with the pools.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Joe keeps being like it's a mental health problem. You guys have that, but why do we act like other nations don't have? We have a mental health issue. UK is a mental health issue. All these other developed countries have mental health issues. And if you want to use stabbings, I'm sorry, Great Britain has less stabbings per capita than the US. So that's not a card you can pull either. Sweden banned guns. I'm not saying it's the perfect. I don't know what to do here. Kids dying, like, you guys have to make a choice. If freedom is more important than kids dying, then that's the hill you're on, and more people will die, and you just live with it.
Well,
I mean, it's sad.
I thought it was interesting they talked about, or Lex referred to, I think it was Eric Weinstein, suggested that they should have above ground nuclear testing.
What does that have to do with guns?
Just to humble humanity, like, check yourself. Like, these exist. Because they test them underground now. The last footage we have of one it's almost like a different time. You don't agree with that theory?
I just what? Why? Why to keep who in check?
All humankind, the whole planet. Like, whoa.
I think Tim
We have
Pool
too
was
much
right.
power.
The U.S. government should give every 16-year-old an AR-16. As soon as they turn 16 years old, the U.S. government gives you an AR and training. I think I agree with Tim Pool. That's the play.
You're being sarcastic.
Very, yes. What a terrible idea. More guns. Listen, you guys have a gun problem. If you have you have a Second Amendment in your Constitution, that's fine.
It's
you have a gun
unfortunate,
problem.
But usually when there's a shooting or something big happens, it makes people take pause. I just think the above ground nuclear test would do the same. Because they probably have a bigger bomb than any of those bombs they've blown up.
So you think that by showing everybody the power of a nuclear bomb, they're going to be like, "Here, take my gun"?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's just going to be
Some school shooter's
it's
going to be like, you know what? I was going to go
It's
shoot.
going to reset
Yeah.
people's minds.
This was
Listen,
his theory. I don't think that.
If they give everybody mushrooms, maybe that will get people to give back their guns.
But the highlight of this podcast is when Joe leads in with his, my buddy Mike Baker tells me they have these. And Lex is like, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, that was
That was
one part where
amazing.
That was amazing. He was polite about it. He's by saying, there's no way.
That's why Joe ended it early. He was like, mental note. Lex gets half an hour
fuck
less.
this guy. Yeah, exactly.
You're on Mike Baker's time now, bitch.
Go against the king, will you?
But it's just obvious. There's no way the Americans are spending 100 times what the Russians are, and they're like, "Oh God, they still got another weapon we can't deal with." There's just no way, and they don't tell you. Do you know? Someone's telling me that the lithium battery that is now we use everywhere was introduced by like the military or the CIA for drones.
Interesting.
Like, so this technology that was used obviously by the military first, which now Joe believes that UFOs are military.
Well, I would agree that some UFOs that people see are military. I do not think that what Colonel Fravor saw was the military. I think that is, that's just where Joe and I all differ. But now we know when they were talking about.
But hold on, Simon. Can I just real quick?
Yep.
If you're the U.S. government and you have created this incredible technology, would you not want to test it out against your own? What I mean by test it out is not shooting anything down, but if you know, because of course you'd know, you're the government, if you know they're running tests and that you have a veteran Navy pilot who could catch this thing on, right, because you need that kind of pilot, wouldn't it be almost like you want to see, like, can our own technology detect this? Can we track it for long enough? Is it, I'm just playing Diablo Avocado here. Like, that would be a good way to
back up to all of these encounters. This one in particular, the Nimitz, the Go Fast, all that shit. When you look into the background of it, they had been filming these things for days and days and days. You know what I mean? This wasn't just anyways, that might not change anything in your position, but just keep that in mind.
It might, yeah. I mean, again,
these were one of, like, in sometimes a lot of the... Listen, I will concede, yes, what you're saying is true. You have to test your shit somewhere. You're not going to test it on the enemy because you're not going to risk starting war.
Or even your technology crashing in their area or anything like that.
Sure,
You know what I mean?
I will concede all of that. And I'm sure it happens all the time, Matt. And I bet you a lot of things that people saw in the past and present day are exactly that. But I also think there are aliens.
It's Occam's razor, though, eh? Eric Rakeem's razor. It makes more sense.
Both things can be true.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're mutually exclusive where
it could be alien technology that the military has got a hold of.
As well, exactly.
That works for me.
I just think that, like, some of the things we're seeing are far... I mean, look, we would have to be a pretty fucking advanced species at this point, and there are just some places where we lack so wholly that it's hard for me to, like... Yeah, we'll do that, but we won't do this. Yeah, there's money to be made in both, like,
Simon, hear me out, and I'm using your own logic here, like, if the government has had alien craft since the 60s and have been back engineering them since, we're now at a point in technology where maybe they properly back engineered something. And again, and just hear me out, you would almost want it to be someone like Fravor, someone who has high credentials, to go out into the world and say, listen, I don't even, you know what I mean? Because then it's like, it's definitely aliens. It's not us. We don't have this technology.
Totally. Absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah. And if it, and everybody involved in this Nimitz thing, the 20, 30 people that are speaking out or whatever it is, they could all be in on this.
Hey, and again,
but I tend to think that when there is something for people to be all in on, it's usually only like a couple of people who are in on it. And usually when it starts getting out like this, like where the leaks start happening all over the place, like especially with this Nimitz one.
If they're leaks.
This, exactly. They could be there purposefully, but this is a lot of people to have in on your scam at this point, man. Like a lot more than the fucking, the moon landing, but that's not a good example.
No, it's not. Most interesting part of this podcast, which was sort of a Matrix moment for us and the Patreons, if you listen to the Tom DeLonge, is Bob Lazar comes up in his Fuse's engine, and Joe goes, I'm going to tell you, actually, edit this out. And that's why.
So it was.
What was it?
It was all about his time at MIT, because that's what Lex questions.
They never heard
says
of him.
They've never heard of him, and Joe says this is why they haven't heard of him.
Click.
now you understand? And Lex said, yes, now I understand. So Joe obviously has some information about his time at MIT. No,
which honestly, those moments are like lighting up a joint in a busy restaurant. It's kind of it's a dick move.
Well, listen, that one I don't really care. Like, who cares why they want to lie about him at MIT? The whole thing.
Why? It's a juicy piece of the puzzle that
guess.
Listen,
the
if you're trying
to be classified information, and Joe was some sort of official that could get prosecuted
to
for
me,
sharing.
it just means that he really did go to MIT, and that's just what if you believe his story is true. And if he was a CIA plant, then I guess that kind of makes sense too, right? They want to keep his story intact. I don't know.
I just find it funny that like the U.S. government has so many levels of itself working actively against itself.
Well, you know that like the Army and the Navy and the Air Force, like they don't work together at all.
Of course not. But think about it like this. When you see this congressional hearing about the door on Mars and aliens, I'm not a U.S. taxpayer, so I don't have a dog in the fight. But if you really brass tacks think about where your tax dollars are going, think about how much that congressional hearing is costing the taxpayers. And then think about it. They know all the answers.
What do you mean? There was a congressional hearing about the door on Mars? No, they were talking about aliens. They were doing their...
No, I'm not this...
They were talking about aliens, but it was because of this and a bunch of other stuff. Again, my point is fine. Let's say it's about aliens and not this door on Mars. The point is, you guys behind the scenes have all of this information. You're putting on this...
Classified.
Fine. So you're putting on this charade of like, oh, the government's trying to get to the bottom of aliens, like, but you guys don't want to give any of the information that you have.
It's a big Brendan Schaub. I'll show you off air. That's always the biggest cock block in life. It's like I can't the information, because like Joe says, the people who think people are too stupid to know something.
I mean, it just shows you that your vote doesn't matter, because think about it. You vote for someone, they get into Congress, and they don't have high enough clearance to get the real information because the people that you don't vote for have that clearance. And so what does it really matter? Because think about it. The person that you voted for is in this congressional hearing grilling people, trying to get to the bottom of it, trying to get the truth. And people are like, well, it's an active investigation. I got to plead the fifth, or any number of fucking things. And in reality, it's like there's a CIA guy watching in Tijuana smoking a cigarette going, I got all the information. You know what I mean?
It's like with that alien task force there.
The further we go, the more I think it's disinformation.
It's 36 pages and 35 of them are redacted.
Yeah.
You know?
The further we go, I think it's disinformation.
They have to give you something. They have to have these hearings. They have to have this shit so that people recognize, oh, this is a real thing. We're okay with you pumping money into it. It's just another fucking military dump. It's another fucking... Like, it really is. That's exactly what they're doing. And that's why they use the term threat. And that's why that's why they do that shit, man. It's all just to get money so they can spend more on the military.
Oh, I agree with that. For sure.
I think the alien invasion was spores.
The mushrooms. Exactly. It's already happened a long time ago. That's such a great theory, Kamar.
And it's nice that it's not the invasion. Invasion is like a lot of people die, this hurt. No, the invasion caused humankind to be.
Oh, that's interesting.
Stone Age theory, yada yada, all that stuff.
Oh, that's interesting.
I also really enjoy how Joe was trying to be like,
that's good.
If the aliens came down, they'd be pretty pissed at vegetarians too, because vegetables are alive.
Dude.
I was like,
if they are,
your salad is trying to kill you.
That's fine. Whatever.
But if
that's
spores,
not my point.
If they're eating mushrooms, like, what are they doing?
Well, the spores
we have to consume the mushrooms.
I was going to say, if the mushrooms created us, then they know that we have to eat.
It's like the plant told us to make it.
But the plant and the mushroom are not the same.
No, the mushroom breathes.
All right, and they're okay with you eating them. Plants do not.
Maybe they need you. No.
Yeah, maybe maybe the mushrooms are in control.
Interesting.
Anyways, yeah, they need you inside them.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's interesting.
They create us so that we will eat them, and then we shit, which makes more mushrooms.
Well, that.
Right? It's just like the acorn falling off the tree.
But you know how you have to have like the symbiote inside you to do its work?
Mm-hmm.
And we willingly took the mushrooms in.
Yeah, it's like a parasite.
They should be firing spores at the moon, at Mars. Like,
Why?
But wouldn't you assume that they're already there if there's spores
assume,
here?
but just make sure they're there.
Assume?
It's part of life.
Just to start life.
Just see what
what
sticks,
happens,
See
see
what
what
sticks.
I think his point is like if you shot spores all over Mars, if at any point in the next like 3 billion years Mars became habitable for whatever reason, the sun moves closer, gets hotter, that sort of thing, like all of a sudden
We're gonna end
you
up
could have
with a
life.
bunch of like mushroom monsters out in space. Just
Well,
fucking-
that's what we are. We're
Yeah,
mushroom monsters.
Mushroom monsters.
Destroying the
That's a
planet.
great T-shirt. Mushroom monsters.
We
Just pooping in a river.
because as we talked before, Lex had Bobby Lee on. We almost
Oh, we were so
talked
close.
about it, so close. But Joe just said, "Oh, I love Bobby Lee. He's a beast. I think she's been a special because he's been doing the same act for 20 years." Doing a backhanded compliment, but I guess I got to beg him to come on. I don't know how he could come on and they would not talk about it. So
Well,
we might
he
be knocking
even
the door.
said, "I don't like that I've been pulled in." Somebody has quoted, me
Meaning he
in
knows
something.
everything we know that we've discussed that he has sort of acted like didn't happen. And I think, like, whether you think it's like lame or Joe could be more with his disclosure, he's doing well. So this is probably the way to handle stuff,
So
Yes.
even if people are talking shit about it.
mushroom spores are electron dense and can survive in the vacuum of space.
Ba-boom.
Additionally, their outer layer is actually metallic and of a purple hue, which naturally allows the spore to deflect ultraviolet light. Like, those seem like they're made for space.
Aliens,
frankly. Yeah.
alien-like.
There you go.
I like it, man.
And they came on that rock that hit it.
Yeah,
so it's still
panspermia.
randomosity. That could have
Panspermia.
missed the planet and hit.
Did you say
Boom.
randomosity?
Yeah, I just make it work.
That's
so.
exactly what that is, Kamar. Alien life being sent through the asteroid.
And then Joe, as a good friend, likes to play the video of Lex passed out.
Yeah.
And I love what Lex says. He goes, "Yeah, that's what happens in Vegas." Because Joe's forgotten the other part. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Right? I've never gone there, but you're not supposed to in Vegas
Yeah.
broadcast
Yeah,
you don't,
someone
yeah.
being Vegas.
Joe was keeping him in check, and that's probably good for Lex.
Maybe Lex was running his mouth right before he passed. Yeah, he was trying to fight him or something.
Imagine
No,
drunk
it
Russian
was-
Lex. Hey, Joe, you piece of shit.
Joe didn't believe the Mike Baker shit, and Joe didn't like that, man.
Gotcha.
Joe's trying to get him out here from now on. Oh, he just pulled that up. That wasn't going to happen.
No, maybe Kamar's right though, because think about it. That's how that shit starts. Your drunk buddy's like, "I'll do more push-ups. Come on, pussy." And then you beat him in push-ups because you're more sober. And then he gets up and is like, "Oh, I want to fight you. Come on, leg kick.
And I don't,
leg
want, I
kick
don't
me."
want you to forget this. Click.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He probably leg kicked Lex.
I think those guys are good friends.
Yeah. That's who you leg kick. Your best friends.
It's a crazy story that casinos shut you down, like they did to Dana White. And he doubled down and said, "Oh, you're cutting me off? I'm taking this event away from your thing."
So now, did they stop him because they thought he was cheating, or did they?
Doesn't
stop
matter.
him?
They have the right regardless.
Absolutely. My question was it because he was winning too much money, or was
Probably.
it because they thought he was cheating and winning too much money? Or were
Well-
they just stopping a roll?
Well, hold on. Cheating is illegal. So they would call the police if they thought he was cheating. Card counting is not illegal.
That's what I'm asking. Counting cards. I don't mean cheating. I mean counting cards.
Well, in order to count cards, you need a team. So I don't believe.
I don't know if you necessarily do if you're really fucking good at it.
But I think
No, because you want to sit down when the count is high or low. I don't remember. So you have to. That's the thing is you have to have someone sitting at the table before. Yeah, I think it's high. You want to have someone sitting at the table to signal you that the count is specifically high. That's how card counting works.
I know, but couldn't you just sit there long enough to see that happen? And
But he's sitting at a high
he
stakes
has
table.
enough money to do that.
I guess maybe.
That would be the best way to show that you're not card counting.
Listen,
I
if
don't know.
I just think Dana's a smart gambler. If he's on a heater and he's pressing, he's got the kind of money where if you're pressing your bets and you're on a heater, I mean, dude,
You can put a casino under.
I don't believe that. Everyone else is losing, but they're supposed to pay out 70%.
I don't think that they should have done it. That's not what I'm arguing.
I mean, listen, we know from the Phil Ivey thing
That was ridiculous.
that it's all fucking corrupt.
That
Listen,
was so
I can't believe that a casino is allowed to throw you out for winning money.
If
Seems wrong.
It's complete. Very shouldn't be allowed to
Doesn't seem very
operate.
capitalist.
do you
No.
think you should be able to card count? If you're good enough to card count, if you can beat the game, is that Like they have to be able to just playing Diablo Avocado.
I mean, I consider
They
that
have
cheating.
to be able to keep you outside of the casino because you'll win every time. It's like
Sure, that's totally different though. Like again, if you're just winning, and they say no mas,
well,
I don't.
that's crazy.
I
That's
agree.
crazy.
What's also crazy is it's like, hold on, you have a game that is slightly, I don't want to say rigged, but you have a game where you have a clear advantage. I'm agreeing to play the game where I'm on the losing side of the advantage, and I'm winning, and you're going to throw me out.
Yeah, no, it's not a good look, but they don't care because they have so many people come there.
It's
and
true,
drop
yeah.
Fucking copious amounts of money.
But like Kamar said, it's nice to hear that it happened to someone with enough clout to be like, hey, guess what? I'm going to cost you more money than you were ever going to lose to me. So
Dana doesn't
let's
lose.
play that
Yeah.
game.
I don't think.
No,
Dana
Dana
ever
doesn't
loses.
lose. No,
There you go. That's a good way.
but he's
to
also
do
a
it.
bully. So
He's been bullied. I've heard him say he's been bullied.
of course he got.
He's a
he got.
chump guy.
which-
Kamar
he got
loves
run- I know he
him,
does,
like,
yeah.
Which will lead us into Joe let it slip that not only did he go to the soccer game, but he went with his good friend Matthew McConaughey. And is that thing that you with I talked about it with Neil Brennan. Disattachment. What did I say?
the fame, whatever.
yeah,
You
disassociation.
You got to hang with famous people, sort of.
Yeah,
Because they're the only ones who understand
You,
what
you,
you're
have,
going
you
through.
relate to being famous,
Matthew McConaughey's sitting there like, look, Joe, everyone thinks you're my son.
and that got Joe talking about Anthony, which he always gets choked up on.
Anthony.
Bourdain.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was like Kumia.
Which I don't know why they bring up because
Soprano?
and then Elon, then Epstein.
Elon. Well, don't stop on Elon. What were they saying about Elon?
I forget. I just
Well, they both love him. They were talking about his. They were like, oh, you know, the press is trying to spin it that he's living in this beautiful home on Austin
Yes,
Lake, when in
exactly.
reality
Thank
he
you.
lives in this small, meager. He's basically living in a container ship on a boat.
Yeah, sure.
which led to Epstein.
Yeah.
Clickbait, which led to why.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go
Just Epstein. Joe said he got invited to lunch with Epstein. That's the first time we've ever heard that.
Well, no, but this also got into talking about evil people.
Yeah.
Lex was like, would you talk to Hitler? Which Lex wants to talk to all of them, which I think would be crazy discussions. Joe said that he wonders if talking to like a mass murderer would affect you, make you evil or something.
I just thought Lex had some weird takes in this episode. Very weird.
Like what?
It's
Tell me
discombobulated.
about them. I don't remember.
He had the one about how like the news shouldn't cover mass shootings because he felt like somehow it was glorified. Like the news shouldn't cover anything atrocious. Basically, we should never find out about it because
It's a weird take, but I've heard that before, and that some of these guys do this to get in the news.
I mean, listen, there's a lot of places where they won't say the name of the person.
They
That
shouldn't
I
do
agree
that.
with.
They should not.
They
do
definitely shouldn't say the name.
No, I agree with that. This person should get no fame or clout off it, but to
But
just
listen-
not report that 19 kids got gunned down in a school,
I'd be willing to entertain the what the argument is. You know what I mean?
look, the news is heinous. I get it, but that is their one job. 19 kids just got gunned down. Their job is to
They're
report on it.
definitely. Listen, I see the argument. You probably should not.
that this
censor the media.
this guy's pissed off. He's crazy. Can't get his Instagram going. Says I'm going to become famous.
And the cops gave Alex Jones carte blanche to do this whole fucking false flag thing for sure.
Well, he'll never say anything about any of these
What?
ever.
What?
Think about it. The cops didn't
'cause,
go in for
yeah,
40
yeah,
minutes.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
perfect for Alex Jones.
He
to,
will not. Though.
Well, it won't be Alex Jones, but it'll be somebody else.
Why? If he's already going to claim bankruptcy, why not?
I don't think he will.
he'll
He's not-
ever say boo
Yeah,
about any
I
school
don't think
shooting
so either.
ever.
I-
again.
He said it about the shooting at the supermarket.
Did he?
Yeah.
I felt like he's
I
been
didn't
radio
hear him.
silence.
He's not radio silence.
Well, Joe has one in the can from Alex Jones, but I guess it's not a good time to release that one.
He's waiting for the bankruptcy to go through, then just throw it up
Well,
then.
no, but definitely not now with school shootings happening. You know what I mean?
I mean, that seems like a terrible time to
Who
throw in
knows
Alex
what the
Jones
fuck
up.
Alex Jones
Yeah.
said in that episode.
And the weirdest thing is talking about
As
how
he called it.
Well, that would be fucking weird.
the abused abuse. He
Yeah, I mean,
found
that's-
out this guy got raped as a child, and all of a sudden, but is it? I don't know how they figured out because half these people die.
I mean, again,
Joe said this is suicide by cop. But why don't these people, instead of killing a bunch of kids, try to kill a bunch of politicians? I mean, means
Harder
the
to get
same
to.
ends. You're going to get the notoriety, you're going to get shot, and you're going to make a big stink. I'd rather that if they just tried to kill politicians.
Oh, some people are fucking deranged, man.
Just sheer evil, and it's very sad. And my heart goes out to all those people. But then it got into the Catholic Church with DiStefano, and Joe talked about how they used to be rock stars. They were fucking everything,
Yeah.
and they got it down to kids. That's what I started thinking that the illusion was. They were fucking so many things like, well, just leave it at kids because this is just out of control.
We'll just leave it at kids. Jesus.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Yeah.
Simon's face.
No, you don't think that's funny?
I mean, it's weird.
There was it is weird that they keep going.
I wish
I
I
didn't do
knew
it.
what the priests were really like. I don't know if you.
We talk about like what you could do bullshitting 30 years ago without the internet. What you could do when you were the
Yeah, no, I guess you're right.
attaché to God.
They must have been fucking.
Whatever you wanted.
They are just kings.
Whatever
right?
you wanted.
Modern
There was an
day
Elon
kings.
priest in like 400 who was like, God made this dick crooked. It's crooked for a reason.
Oh, I imagine though that with Elon, I was thinking of this back when we were talking about that thing. If Elon is like an alien, let's say,
Yeah.
and his species has like a really like I don't know,
A hook dick.
or no, a vagina that's hard to get to,
Okay.
then you would have a hook dick. Do you know
The
what
tunnel
I'm saying?
goes in into the
like
left,
it's not
yeah.
fair for us if he's human. Then for sure, let's make fun of him. But
Yeah.
if he's like a fucking different creature altogether,
Well, we could ask Amber Heard. Or could
maybe
we-
she's a different
we
creature.
believe-
I was just going to say
altogether.
she'd lie to us.
One that shits on beds and.
which they start talking about the trial. Joe's favorite saying now is beauty is a short-lived tyranny,
Yeah.
which is crazy. I think they were talking about on the next one with Ali Sadiq, but like girls can make a wish list now.
They've been doing that for like a decade.
Well, but guys can't do it. Like just the double standard.
A wish list?
Yeah, so like a girl on OnlyFans will set up like a wish list of stuff
Oh,
that
I
she
want a
wants
Louis
you
Vuitton
to
bag,
buy
and Some
her.
guy just wants to buy it to feel good about himself and
Are
get a
there
shout
no
out.
guy OnlyFans?
There are guy OnlyFans.
Yeah, but I don't think those guys have wish
have
lists.
Wish lists. I don't think you can have very much pride if you have a wish list.
A 64 Harley, please and thank you.
Like when you were saying, would you do an OnlyFans for this much money?
Yes.
Those don't really exist
You know they do. They do.
for guys.
Yeah.
You're not making Nicki Minaj money, like 10 million a month
Or
as a
bad
dude.
baby money. But what
Unless
I
you're
was thinking
huge in the gay scene, maybe then.
is that's what the double standard is that beauty is short-lived tyranny, that women don't age over the long period as well as guys do.
Oh, time is terrible to white women.
No offense.
That's
Just
the
terrible.
trade-off. Well,
That's-
you're not offending me.
I'm not trying. Well, I don't care if I
to
am.
anyone who's like
He looked at me and
women don't
no
age well, but I
offense.
think that's where the trade-off is. Like guys just age better.
But
So girls got to get whatever they can get in their prime.
I mean, doesn't it all depend on like the ideal that you're holding people up to?
I mean, I don't know a really hot girl that doesn't have a rich or somewhat well-off boyfriend.
I know
Do
hot
you?
girls that aren't rich.
Oh, good for you. I don't. I'm talking like 10.
Tens that just never met. Well, there's
Not an Ottawa 10.
Tens that are riding the bus, Kamar. Do you see that a lot?
No.
no, you don't see tens on the. Well,
Nope, never.
And when you do
They're under
see a
18.
pretty girl riding the
Ugh.
bus, don't you wonder?
Oh, she's Amber Heard shitting on a bed
you
for
want
sure.
you want to help her.
You want to help her.
Have you guys seen the Rum Diary?
Yeah.
Johnny Depp, the Rum Diary. Yep.
Did you know that Johnny Depp and Amber Heard both starred in it?
I don't remember her in it, but yeah,
I don't remember
sure.
her in it either.
Yeah, there's a scene when they're in the car together, eh?
There we go.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about Amber Heard
Oh,
and Johnny Depp all week, and I finally tied it.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Let's do this.
in. Not at that.
Movie game, the time has come again. For Matt and Simon to rack the brains to guess the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE Movie Game. Come on, take it away, baby.
It's the movie game where Matt and Simon go head to head to find out what year a movie came out, how much it cost to make, and how much it made at the box office this week. Now, this movie wasn't mentioned, but Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's name have been mentioned ad nauseum. And they also talked about Hunter S. Thompson, who the book is written by.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Is that what we're doing?
No, The Rum Diary is a 2011 American comedy drama film written and directed by Bruce Robinson based on the 1998 novel of the same name by Hunter S. Thompson.
What
So
year
he
did
wrote
it
The
come
Rum
out,
Diary.
Kay?
He did say it too.
I just said it. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
he did.
You said what year the book came out.
No, the movie.
You just said what year the movie came out?
I did.
I thought you said the year the book came out.
I did say that as well.
Okay, because I got the year right here.
Oh my God.
Really? You heard him say it?
Ah, wow.
Okay, give me a sec.
That he tricked me because I
No,
had the
because
facts.
you had already said it.
No, I didn't.
I
said
thought
it was
you were
written by
talking about the book.
I was written by Hunter S. Thompson. Wow.
Okay, listen back to the tape. I didn't trick you. You did that all on your own.
Stars
Wow.
Johnny Depp, Aaron Eckhart, Michael Rispoli, Amber Heard.
Okay, well, I have a
Keith
year, I
Jenkins,
guess,
and
but it
Giovanni
seems like
Ribisi.
Simon's got this. What year do you have?
Well, I don't know. Hold on a second. Kamar could be totally fucking me up here. You said a year.
Yeah.
You see, this is way too early for that movie.
So you wrote 95.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I wrote 90 because he said 90, 1990.
I
But
don't think I
that's-
heard 1990.
That's way too early for this movie. That's the year the book came out.
Yes.
Look, but he's smiling.
Well, no, I think I realized that you didn't even hear what I said.
Hold on
and
a
we're
second.
fine.
1977,
This is the worst
I have a year.
movie game start ever.
1990.
It was written by Hunter S. Thompson.
It's because I threw you off because I handled a movie game in the Tom DeLonge, and I just threw your mojo off
You
completely.
did
No,
amazing. But it's safe to
No,
say
you did amazing. You
Oh,
hit
no,
the.
that's good. Okay, let's go. I'm saying 1990.
I have 98.
2011.
Yeah, you fucked me.
2011.
Yeah,
Did you even?
it's a new
Did you
movie.
say 98?
I said Rum
book
Diary
came-
is a 2011 American comedy drama written and directed by Bruce Robinson based on the 1998. I totally said it.
You did say 98.
I said 98
Well, I
after
can't
the book
fuck.
came
understand a
out.
word he says.
Wow.
1990 doesn't make any sense. This whole thing's under protest.
This is
I
under
knew that.
protest.
I knew the
This
protest
is
was
under
coming.
protest.
Let's do Pirates of the
I'm
Caribbean.
protesting it myself.
I did. I
or
wrote
Fear
down
and Loathing
98.
in Las Vegas.
We've done Fear and Loathing.
Have we?
Okay, Rum Diaries in 2011.
I'm sure they met on this set and they married in 2015. They probably had a smooch. Or this is where
stupid.
Amber
So
caught his
stupid.
eye. And maybe they can go back and sue the creators of this movie for casting them together to make this mess that they're in now. Filming began in Puerto Rico in March 2009, so it only took 2 years to get to the screen.
Okay, I'm ready.
I am too. I guess you go first.
Me?
Sure.
16 million to make. 1-6.
And how much did it make at the box office?
4-0.
You think it made 40?
Yeah.
I said it cost 27.8 because I figured Johnny Depp post Pirates of the Caribbean has to be at least 15 million. And I said it only made 19.1.
You were very right that it did not make as much it cost to make. It cost $45 million to
Jesus
make.
What the
Christ.
fuck?
See, again, they have to pay Johnny Depp's got to be paid 20 million alone.
Yeah, I know.
And then they got to film in Puerto Rico. How much was it again, Kamar?
Kamar, what did it make?
It lost money, but not lose as much as you thought. It made $30.1 million.
What was the first number?
$45 million to make.
What did I say? I said 40 million. I'm right there, man.
That's what
And
I'm
how
that's
much
what I'm
to?
saying.
And it made 30.
$30 million. He's right there too. At 19, you're both 10 off.
That game sucked.
Yeah, that was one of the
That
worst
was
movie
the worst
games of all
movie
time.
game
you
ever.
ru-
I
you
apologize.
ruined
So
it.
anticlimactic.
Because in the Patreon
He's
throwback
trying to
episode,
trick us.
for the first time ever, Matt took over the movie game, and it was everything.
Yeah. Kamar did very well. He hit. What did you hit? The budget? You hit the budget exactly, I believe. 36 million.
That's the movie game. Thanks for joining us, guys. Come back next week. Camilla Vasquez. She needs OnlyFans. Joe hopes she gets together with Joe.
With Johnny.
Her
Who's Camilla Vasquez?
the-
Johnny Depp's lawyer.
the kick-ass lawyer for Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
And I think the lawyers look stupid because they're making up. She's done too much. And like Joe said, had she just made a culp with this a long time ago and said, I exaggerated or whatever.
How about,
disagree.
How about the psychiatrist who bases his character study of Johnny Depp off only the Pirates of the Caribbean movie? And then they say, what about this other movie? And they're like, he was in other movies?
These are desperate
Like, what are you
lawyers.
even talking
These are
about? This is
desperate
crazy.
lawyers.
Dude,
Dude, the guy from TMZ was
Are
hilarious.
her lawyer? I think they're doing all of this. I
For a
think maybe you
mistrial.
said it last week, so that they'll be able to have grounds for a mistrial, or not a mistrial, but not
Some
a
sort of
mistrial.
suit or something.
What's it called when you
hung jury?
lose? No, when you lose and then afterwards appeal.
Oh, appeal.
She's gonna have
Yeah, she'll have a
grounds for
valid appeal on her
'Cause these
useless
people
fucking
are-
lawyers.
Just by putting that guy up, that psychiatrist up, or whatever he was, that is grounds.
You're suggesting she's going to use her incompetent law team
Yes.
to get herself off?
And they know that now, and that's what they're doing behind the
Well,
scenes.
if she does do that, she's a genius.
Dude, they had a
She
shot.
snorted coke through a Kleenex, Kamar. We know she's a fucking genius.
They had a shot of the gallery behind, like everyone in the like the seating of the court. They had just a still shot the other day when the guy from TMZ was like, "Wouldn't you agree that you taking Amber Heard is your 15 minutes of fame?" Dude, it looks like they're watching Muhammad Ali knock someone out. Everyone there is like, it's insane. It's bananas. Like, I've never seen a trial like this in my life. Something's going on in the world. Like, there must be aliens right now
Because
on
it's
Earth.
such a perfect distraction.
Mushrooms.
It is, yeah. I bet Ghislaine right now is naming all the names.
Apparently, that's what's happening, actually.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It only makes sense.
Ghislaine is singing right now.
Yeah.
But my theory about Ghislaine is she's never going to get in trouble, and you're never going to know about it because she was the operative. So why would they burn
I would join her
bridge?
OnlyFans.
Ghislaine's? I don't think she can do one from where she is.
If she knows what we think we know, they're going to body double her out of there.
Guantanamo. That's what I mean. They'll just pretend to.
Yeah. She's locked up
the
somewhere. Don't
person
worry.
in jail.
It's like that whole. It's
She's
like in The
the
Wire.
Clinton.
Remember, like no, what is it in Reservoir Dogs when it's like, we'll get you a job down at the docks. Your PO shows up. He's not here today. He's out on a delivery. You know what I mean? It's the same shit. Go ahead, Kumar. I'm so sorry.
Hitler was a vegetarian. We always talked about that.
Did we?
Did we?
I mentioned they mentioned it, but you could. Well, so says I'm a vegetarian. You can now throw back.
So was Hitler.
so
Dude,
what's
that's
your point?
amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that from now
I
on
thought
for
that's
sure.
what I thought when I heard it.
I'm
Yeah.
a vegetarian. So is Hitler.
It's a perfect thing.
We know how that worked out.
I feel like they both said it, so that is a fact that we can. I mean, he was also a
Hitler-
meth head, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my friend smoked meth. I'll be like, yeah, so did Hitler.
eat a carrot. Uppers or downers?
Do I have any? No.
No, but
Uppers or downers? Which one do we want to do?
I think there's many types of people, and there's also like some people like downers, some people like uppers.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they've done
I like both.
research into caffeine and marijuana. Is your downer?
Coke and fucking heroin.
Yes, but you keep it clean.
I'm just saying, I would like both. I like both of those highs.
You like the candy flip?
No,
That's
not together.
No,
But
what
you're
is that?
making it seem like you only like uppers or you only like downers. I like weed and I also like caffeine. You know what I mean?
Well, he was just saying.
Is weed a downer?
Yeah, weed is a downer.
I don't. I guess meth heads. Like once you get into meth, you do meth.
That's
And
just your thing.
A person who I think you should have is Andre Agassi.
You
'Cause
think
was a
we should have on?
No,
Joe.
Oh.
He was a full functioning meth head.
His
Yeah,
auto-
while
And
winning
made it
like
out the other side.
his autobiography is incredible.
It really
man.
is incredible.
Especially because you find out like some of these really integral moments were him super high, like things we thought like were an injury or a this or that.
Yeah, wow, he's really sweating out.
Self-conscious and having anxiety.
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah.
First set, and he's sweating like sweating like a pig out there. He looks like he's high on meth.
I would love to know because it came up with Steve Tyler.
Okay.
So Steve Tyler had, I believe, foot surgery, had some painkillers, and
How to relapse.
now he's in rehab.
Yeah.
So there's got to be like, did he end up in a hotel room in Vegas or like, do you know what I mean? He could have, maybe he just started liking the pain pills and preemptively did it, but I'm sure he had a little blast off.
I mean, let's keep in
Relapse.
mind when someone like Steven Tyler goes to rehab, it's pretty fucking cushy. So, like you said, it could just be him preemptively like, I'm just gonna go stay at a resort.
And I'm
detox
pushing back
resort
saying, no,
for-
it got out of control. And
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I guess there are
Lifeline.
two ways. Maybe if you just
Of course.
like, if you've been sober for 30 years and you decide to have a drink and then you're like, fuck, now I got to go to rehab, as opposed to like
Letting it go off the
blacking
rails.
out
Yeah.
and fucking hookers.
Oh, I killed 3 hookers in
Yeah.
Vegas. Fuck.
Now I really got to go to rehab.
I like to think he let it slide a bit, and that's because they had to cancel the tour.
Like Bobby Lee.
Not a tour. They had a residency in Vegas.
Even worse. Like you think you could probably work around that, so maybe it was pretty bad.
I mean, the problem is he's in Vegas.
Sin City.
Yeah, like I think if it was a tour, maybe it's a bit different because you're like regiment. I mean, I don't know. What do I know? I've
But
never
for
been on
Steve,
tour.
it was able to stay in Vegas because Joe didn't have a beef against him.
If I was rich and famous and like had no responsibilities except going touring and shit, I would do all the drugs. All the drugs, you know? Like I totally understand how.
I'm glad you said that. That's very honest. I would too.
Well, I absolutely would. Like,
Oh, now I hope this thing doesn't take off. Great.
Have you ever guys noticed that
no, I
Pelosi,
said if I was rich and famous and didn't have any responsibilities, I have tons of responsibilities.
even though I don't like her, Nancy Pelosi has a huge set of tits. Have you ever noticed that?
I wasn't watching as they were talking about that, but
You've never seen her just speaking?
do you think we're still talking about Lex, right?
Yeah.
Do you like Lex could be getting some serious girls?
No, I
right
don't
now.
think he is. I have a friend who's very funny, and I think if he ever gets laid, he's not going to be funny anymore.
And that's what Lex is
Lex
afraid
is
of.
avoiding.
He's like Samson and his hair. He thinks that if
Some
he
people say if you do mushrooms, it'll change it forever. If you do pussy for Lex, it'll change it forever.
it'll just make him a terrible human being.
What have I been doing
Starts
this
wearing
whole time?
sunglasses and leather jackets all the time. He's like throwing his keys at valets. Park that motherfucker.
that aren't there.
Yeah, there's no one there. Yeah.
But young Pelosi, she can get it. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, hold on. I want to see young Pelosi because I want to see what Kamara is talking about. Hey, it's 3:33, boys. Oh no, it's 3:38. My eyes are really bad.
Well, no one cared either way. So
The
Kamara.
1010 donation was everything.
So, what's her name? Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi, big tits. That's
I'm
right.
gonna write young picture.
That's what I wrote to see her. They're most of them are black and white.
I mean,
don't know
that
if it does-
sounds weird too, right?
Young picture. Yeah. What a
Here, I'll
creepy
see.
fuck.
Images. Which one do you see, Kamar, where you can see
all
like
of them.
her-
She
Let
can
me
get
see.
it.
Let me see.
I don't see any cleavage here.
She's not hideous.
We're not looking for tits. He's looking.
Oh no,
you're
you
just
can
looking
her
to see
big
if she's
titties
hot.
today.
No, he was directly talking about the size of her.
Well, her
They're
tits haven't gone
huge now.
away.
They're huge now. Imagine what they were in her prime when they were.
I mean, look, she was a very pretty lady.
Let me
that's what I'm
see.
saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
No,
No, not my type.
Yeah.
not your type.
I like it because she's a super liberal progressive, and I'm not.
You
No, you
don't
like it
like
because she's
her
rich,
because of that?
motherfucker,
What
and
are
she's
you
got big
talking about?
tits. That's like right
that
up
too.
your alley.
That's not Pelosi.
Let me see.
I was like, oh, that's Pelosi shaking hands with her.
That chick's head looks photoshopped too. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. So anyone who wants to send me some Pelosi porn, get on it.
No, don't do that.
They talked about the arrogance of the social media companies, and it totally makes sense. When you hire people, you want to hire who's a good fit. So if someone applied for a job at Twitter and they're like said a whole bunch of stuff, you have questions, interview, you don't know what they're asking for. You just give your honest answers. And he said, "I think Trump's a good guy." They're like, forget this guy, or whatever comes up. So they hire their own, and it just compounds, and then they just have this arrogance of. One thing I've seen is that all the Hillary Russian disinformation is all still up, which is weird because it's all lies, like proven now. Whereas stuff that wasn't even sure about, say, certain pandemics or whatever, was immediately taken down and is now true and still not.
And a very early taste, just by the by, of getting Russia in your mouth. A bad taste of Russia in your mouth. You know what I mean? To where we
a
are
little set the ground. And
to
these
where
aren't-
we are today. I mean, that kind of totally plays into your theory. Come on.
That helps a lot.
Yeah.
I will say though, it's weird if you look at Twitter's permanent ban list. It's like 55-45 as far as left right.
Ideology.
Yeah,
Well,
it's not like Joe makes it out to be like there's some. I agree. Like on the surface, it definitely would appear that has a liberal bias, but as far as banning people permanently, it seems to be almost down the middle.
what confuses me is
I
it
found
seemed
odd.
like the things on hold. Elon's getting sued now by shareholders.
Yeah, for
the
diluting
bot
the
thing
price, yeah.
and something. But yet he hasn't taken full control. But it did change because Joe said he got 800,000 new followers.
I think what happened was people preemptively left, thinking Elon had already taken over, and maybe those were like the most radical.
At banning stuff or
Or what happened
shadow
was they
banning.
knew there was going to be some sort of audit. So for whatever time, they had to turn off certain settings, right? That would like shadow ban people, that sort
I
of
mean,
thing.
if that really is true, if that number really is true,
Yeah.
public discourse is
Yeah.
being tainted by machine, obviously. There's
Well,
no
the
doubt
algorithm.
about that. Yes, machine.
No, but what's weird is Joe's like,
Call
you
it
know,
what it is.
I
But
don't
it's not the
buy-
machine, it's people.
The algorithm is the machine.
It's a
Yes,
little
but you have
column A,
to
column
set up
B.
the algorithm to do what you want it to do.
Sure, but let's call it what it is.
But Joe then defends the algorithm,
The
even though
machine.
what he knows
He defends the machine.
from having the guy on. He goes, I don't buy this thing that the algorithm is trying to get us upset. Even though he's had a guy in that says he's
Well,
trying to make us
he knows
upset.
100% that that's the case.
But he's just a ride in the fence like nobody's business.
I think we get wooed by the machine every so often, and I don't blame him. Like, it happens to me, and you have to remind yourself, like, this is not my friend. None of this is my friend.
But it somehow knows me.
It's trying to kill me like salad.
Joe mentioned that we know him as good as he knows his wife knows him.
No, he said she knows him slightly better, but
Just slightly.
that anyone who listens
Who,
to the
like
show.
the three of us?
Well, he said anyone who's listened to the podcast for a long time. So yes, the three of us.
So we're good friends with Joe.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine.
Well, you're like a great friend. You're one below his wife.
Yeah.
Wow.
Listen, I texted.
good place to be.
I send him my number often. He just doesn't call back.
Then
You're probably sending it to a phone that doesn't exist, because that doesn't make sense, Matt. He would get back to you right away.
No, I give him my number on Instagram.
Lex suggested journalists are the problem. Then Joe says, well, they're just trying to keep their job. He's just,
No, he just plays Diablo Avocado.
without saying it anymore.
Yeah, without saying
So
it.
it's
Anymore. That
hard-
gets
it's hard to
confusing.
say, yeah.
It's true. You got to
You
say
should
Diablo
definitely-
avocado.
You should
Yeah.
definitely quote it. With,
It's been enough time to say that Trump's platform really didn't work.
I mean, how does retruthing someone not get traction? Oh, nice, Simon.
yeah, that was weird.
But you thought it was going to take off,
His platform? No, I think we all just said he was going to make a news
and he did.
network.
Okay, so that was seen, but he's got a Twitter,
But
conceivably, like he's on. I'm not on it. I don't even know. I think I tried to get on it, and it was like one too many things.
really,
You also-
you're
listen.
not on it.
You also don't want to be in that's an actual echo chamber. People can argue.
100%. But I could use the excuses. I'm just seeing what the dialogue
No,
is
no.
out there, but I couldn't care less.
I get it, but my point is like if you wanted to go over there, like to be like I want free discourse, like okay, but you're not getting both sides of any. It's a true echo chamber. At least on Twitter, like you can say there's biases with the algorithm and this and that, but you'll get people on both sides arguing about whatever topic. Whereas it seems like on Trump's thing, it's just like
There's still the arrogance is there wherever you go. Oh, like that's going to have right wing arrogance instead of left wing arrogance, which then Lex won my heart over, where he said the arrogance of all these people to say flat Earth has been debunked. He said none of those people could sit and tell me or prove to me why the Earth is flat. It's just
or
a thing.
round.
And he said we know less than 99% of anything. And so people should not be
Kamar,
so smug.
we don't even know what we don't know.
We don't know what we don't know.
And
guys,
you know who,
guys,
you know who said
guys.
that? Cheney.
Listen, Lex knows that the Earth is round.
He knows that, but he knows that those people who are adamant that it isn't couldn't prove with a gun to their head why it is round. But they have such they're so sure
A
about
fervent
themselves.
belief in it because that's what they've been taught and that's what we all think.
And he thinks people should be more
But that means you shouldn't believe absolutely anything. There's nothing you should believe. Yeah, well, that's dumb
okay.
as
Well,
shit.
no, Joe started talking about it's fun. These things are fun. To whatever, shit around or whatever. I mean, I'm not going to go to jail.
You're not
defend
going to
flat
do
Earth.
experiments to try and defend it.
And then
But that guy did and died.
Yeah, well, and there are crazy people out there on every, like, they don't have to be just flat Earth people. They can
Yeah,
be trying
it's
to
true.
prove that there are
It's true.
fucking Martians on Pluto.
And then Joe goes, I mean, look, there's people who think space doesn't exist. I don't know where that's coming from. And I said, I know where that's coming from. That's coming from Eddie Bravo. Because when he does it, he makes it so funny and so entertaining and so ridiculous, you can entertain that. It's
You
I
think
it's all from
space
Eddie
is
Bravo.
real?
Space. That's all they pushed on you since you've been a kid is space.
All the Disney movies.
Oh, Eddie.
It's all Eddie all the time. Leading
amazing.
Jiu-Jitsu is the Gracie.
Listen, Jetty's probably been right about everything.
More than he's right, more than he's wrong.
Oh, here we go.
But then the best thought about passing on is the Gracie who thinks that You keep living life till you make every perfect decision. Get it in. That's what everyone. If that's what it is, I'm content.
You're down for that?
I think everyone would.
Do you think you relive it as Kamar every time, or do you think you relive it as a different person every time, just trying to get it right?
Well, it'd be interesting, and you guys still have to watch everything once all at the same time, because
Yep.
that's exactly what that movie is about.
Really? Okay, well.
Well, what's interesting in that one
No, you won't.
is in alternative universes, different decisions are made, and we reach the different outcomes. And I'll just leave it at that.
We do got to move on.
Lex ends with the poem. Rate it.
Well, it's a good poem, but no. I give it a 3.5.
Magic of the moment. I give it a 3.
I give it a 2.
I thought Lex was pretty honest.
The Bob Lazar edit is a problem, and then the Bobby Lee almost crack it open, so I give it a 3.
I like Lex. Didn't like this episode.
Love me some Lex.
All right. Let's move
What
on to
did
the
you
last
give
one.
it?
A 2.
Oh, wow.
Didn't like this episode. Said it. Liked Lex. Don't like this episode. Chico, we're not going anywhere, pal. You can chill.